Sure, I'll answer. Because of the fact that the Jews use that terminology, but you guys messed it up, we don't use that description anymore.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. Can a Muslim, at any point in the time of creation, of history, claim that Allah gave them all authority over all flesh to give them eternal life?
No. Not gonna answer.
So Jesus is not a Muslim.
No.
Any point in time,
at the time of Jesus,
lift your eyes up to heaven and say, Father, glorify your Son so that your Son may glorify you.
At the time of the Jews, talking about Father and Son and praying to God is fine, yes.
Awesome. A Muslim
today?
At any point in time, lift their eyes to heaven and say, Father, glorify your Son so that your Son may glorify you. Can a Muslim say that?
Okay, sure, I'll answer. Because of the fact that the Jews use that terminology, but you guys messed it up, we don't use that description anymore.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. I'll say it again. Can a Muslim
today?
At any point in time,
at the time of Jesus,
lift their eyes up to heaven and say, Father, glorify your Son so that your Son may glorify you.
At the time of the Jews, talking about Father and Son and praying to God is fine, yes.
Awesome. All right, I rest my case.
Okay.
At the time of the Jews,
you got it, brother.
You think you won that?
I don't think I won anything, man. I don't think I won.
Jewish theology. You're tracking this?
You're saying that that's Muslim theology.
I'm saying Jewish theology that calls themselves Son and God Father.
You said that you're saying that matches with Muslim theology.
Yes.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Can a Muslim, at any point in the time of creation, of history, claim that Allah gave them all authority over all flesh to give them eternal life?
No. Not gonna answer?
So Jesus is not a Muslim.
Not gonna answer?
You just did. Jesus is not a Muslim.
You really don't want me to talk, do you?
Just expand, please.
Go ahead, expand.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah.
He doesn't want me to.
I understand.
If Jesus is God, can he be given all authority if he is God?
So we're talking about the deity of Christ again, but I'll answer you. Yes, Jesus can be given authority because he humbled himself, came down, took on flesh, handled his business on earth, and is now, as the humble servant of the Father, being exalted back to that position, which is why in verse 5 of the verses that I'm talking about, he says, now Father, glorify me with the glory that I had with you before the world existed. So he can humble himself and set his divine prerogatives aside for a second, do his job, and then receive it back and inherit it back.
So he's a lesser God for a moment.
Would you say that Allah is a lesser God because he's the best of inheritors?
What the heck?
I know. What the heck?
What the heck? Listen, man, we're talking about, you don't have to keep changing the subject.
Irony is crazy.
Man, this guy has to posture.
I must admit, this is one of the most one-sided debates I have ever seen. The guy easily fell into the trap of disproving Islam when it was put to the test against biblical truth. I am usually in combat mode, ready to defend my faith against Islam, but in this video, I will not. Avery did enough damage on his own, and I am not the type to kick people when they are down. Instead, I will leave you all with this message of the cross from Professor John Lennox.
Christianity is evidence-based. Listen to this. John, at the end of his Gospel, he says, Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written, that you might believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that believing you may have life in his name. In other words, here's the evidence on which faith is based. Now, how do you decide between religions? Well, there are several ways. Very briefly, just think of the three major monotheistic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. When it comes to Christ, my Jewish friends, and I have many of them, believe that Christ died and did not rise. I, as a Christian, believe he died and rose. My Muslim friends believe he didn't die. Those three things cannot be simultaneously true. And therefore, I simply invite people to investigate the evidence. And one of the most seminal experiences in my life was sitting on the ground in the bright sunshine in Trinity College, Cambridge, listening to one of the world's top lawyers, actually an expert in Islamic law, but a Christian. And he was a Queen's Counsel, amongst many other things. Sir Norman Anderson, I think his book is still obtainable. And he got up and says, I want to do a forensic investigation of the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus. and the place was absolutely packed. And I'll never forget it, because that was the beginnings of understanding that there is a rational forensic defense of this. And we have to make up our own minds.